Let's bring in our think tank. They may disagree with me. I never know what they're going to say. Let's bring him in. Criminal defense attorney, former head prosecutor, New Jersey, Bob Bianchi. Former police lieutenant, trial attorney, Rick King. National parenting and family relationship expert, Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Great to see everyone tonight. I just want to make my position very clear. I understand I work at Court TV, but I chose this work. It's not like I got drafted. I chose to work here because of what I believe in. And I remember being a prosecutor and watching what would happen on sentencing day on Fridays, where all these judges would just give these guys 10 chances, 11 chances, 12 chances, and never put anyone in jail. And the public had no idea what was happening. It was that moment, a little light bulb over my head. Man, there should be a camera in this courtroom. And then guess what happened? Court TV was born soon thereafter. All right, Bob Bianchi, I don't know what you think. You may agree, you may disagree. But I am shocked that prosecutors who work for the government, work for the state, don't want the public to see what's happening here?
Makes no sense to me, Vinny. As a prosecutor who's tried cases with a single feed camera in a courtroom, completely unobtrusive. It's not an OJ scenario, which the courts always point to, where things were completely out of control. The public has a right to know. The judge is striking, in my opinion, the balance, the transparency. Listen, why in today's day and age do I have to get what's going on in a courtroom? It drives me nuts in federal court that I got to read somebody's reporting on what somebody's saying, which 90% of the time isn't even accurate, or they're not even getting the salient facts. Why the prosecutors are not allowing a camera in the courtroom befuddles me. It should be allowed this way, especially in a case like this. There can't be these conspiracy theories that something's being hidden from the public. It's an outrage. Prosecutors are dropping the ball on this one.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same.
I disagree.
Go ahead, Rick. You disagree.
Good. So, Vinny, I disagree. And on behalf of the defense bar, I'm going to tell you I take some umbrage with what you say. So here is whether or not we are going to jump up and down and talk about, fair trial. We do that for a reason. If you just look at the setup of the courtroom, you have the government who gets to call themselves the state of Utah, or we're here in Florida, the state of Florida, sitting cozy up next to the jury. You have the judge sitting up on high above everybody else, taking care of the proceedings. And then in the corner, you have the defense table with the defendant sitting far to the end, next to the door and next to the deputies ready to take him out the door. So everything is set up to make the defendant appear to be the evil one. When people get arrested and you find out, hey, it was your neighbor that was just arrested, you don't say, oh, it's probably not him. What you say is, oh, I'm glad they caught the guy. While this is problematic from a transparency perspective, I get that. At the same time, there's a balancing act between the rights of the fair trial rights of the defendant. There's also the integrity of the process, safety concerns, and the public's right to know. You have to balance those things. And I think on some level, in a case this large.
But Rick, this is our system of justice. First of all, the judge sits in front of two tables. One table has to be one place, and another table has to be another place. The fact that there's a TV feed in the courtroom does not deprecate the defendant's right to a fair trial. It just doesn't.
I think.
Why can't we switch?
Because I think that it is important in this case that this is made public. Every single person out there experienced what happened to Charlie Kirk on that day. Whether this man is innocent or not, I don't see any reason to not have this public. Every other case has been publicized. I mean, Vinny, you talked about the OJ case. We all followed that on TV, and it was made public to the world. And I don't see any difference here. We all experienced that day. It was traumatic for everyone. And I think we should be able to watch this.
Vinny, can I add one thing?
People act differently.
One point. But Vinny, I just recently had a homicide case where a defendant, they dismissed the charges against them. No media, no fanfare, no courtroom cameras, And so on the internet, for the rest of that person's life, it'll be this person accused of killing his child, when in truth, he did not, because there wasn't transparency, because the cameras weren't in the courtroom. So it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. If he's presumed innocent, and in fact the jury comes back and says he's not guilty, that inures to the benefit of the defendant to show the world the evidence in which acquitted him.
Go ahead, Rick.
Are you starstruck? Are you no response? No
I was
response?
I was just going to say the question that I wanted answered was, if everything is so fair, then why not bring the defendant out in the orange jumpsuit and the shackles? Because it's the perception. It's the perception of what he looks like. That's why the judge ruled against that. And again, why not switch tables? Why not let the defendant sit next to the jury sometimes? We don't do that because the system, whether you like it or not, is set up to put that defendant in the corner. That's why.
I agree with you, Rick. I agree with you. That is called an anchoring effect, and it's a psychological term.
Let me put a button on this. Rick, I think we all agree. Because you feel like the system might be rigged. What better way to expose the system than to show people what is happening in the courtroom? That's the whole point of transparency. You let the sunshine in and the disinfectant comes in and we clean up all the mess. There's no backroom deals. There's no like, oh my goodness, they did this, they did that. If someone's acting improperly, people can see it. If the evidence is there, people will hear it. If the evidence isn't there, the people will hear it. Could you imagine if let's take, for instance, Karen Reed, no cameras in the Karen Reed case, and it's just like people reporting. Well, it would depend upon whose report you were listening to as to what case you were watching, because I was watching the reports of people from there, and some people saw one case, some people saw another case. So, but if you got to watch it yourself, you make up your own mind and you understand, and it puts trust in our system of government, our system of justice, which is needed because it's at an all-time low. I trust the think tank. They'll be here all night. Up next.